Welcome to What's Treading with Tire Review. I'm Maddie Weiner, and today on the podcast, I'm joined by Alexis Garcin, Chairman and President of Michelin North America. Alexis, welcome to the show.
Hi, Maddie. It's good to talk to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I know Michelin recently presented its Michelin in Motion plan, which is the group's sustainability strategy all the way through 2030. There's so much to talk about in the plan, but just to start, I wanted to focus on Michelin's tire business. The plan says a key area of growth is electric mobility. What do you see are some vehicle electrification challenges in which Michelin can play a role in tackling in the Americas?
Yeah, first, and you mentioned the new strategy, and I just want to share with you that we are at a very defining moment at Michelin because we are accelerating our strategy with this Michelin in Motion strategy we just announced a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we will do this acceleration by focusing on three inseparable criteria that are our people, the profit, and the planet. And I will come back to that maybe later. But while leveraging at the same time those three criteria, we will accelerate our growth on tires with just leveraging all the opportunities we have right now, because I think you know that the automotive industry is on the cusp of its probably largest revolution ever. And we at Michelin, we see a lot of opportunities here. We'll also grow what we call around tires, meaning that we leverage the data capabilities we have been building over the last years around tires to develop new service models and propose our customers and our partners new service offers so that they can also propose more than just what we believe are the best tires of the world. And the last piece of growth is beyond tires, because we open our business and accelerating on the high technological materials, because we believe that first it will open us to new source of growth, while at the same time will help us to feed our ambitions to have by 2050 on the market a tire that will be 100% made out of reusable and recyclable material. So within that beyond tire growth, we have these high-tech material technologies, and we add to that the hydrogen, in which we strongly believe, and the 3D printing facilities, because we have been starting a journey more than 10 years ago. So we have very, very strong ambition. It's an exciting moment. And back to your question on tires, yes, electrification is by far for us the biggest opportunity we see right now. And when we talk about acceleration, I just want you to know that we're able now to leverage really more than 30 years of expertise, because we were the first to bring to the market the first tire that was optimized in the rolling resistance, which is basically the force you use to get the tire rolling on the road. And we did that in 1992 in Europe. And at that time, we were able to reduce the fuel consumption of a car. And basically, we are 30 years later. In the meantime, we have developed new technologies, new know-how, and we use exactly that know-how to provide the car manufacturers with tires that are able to optimize this rolling resistance so that at the end, they can have an increased range thanks to our tires. And to give you just two examples, and that's really very exciting as an opportunity, we've launched in Europe the e-Primacy, which is a passenger car tire. And that technology was able to provide up to 7% more range to the car, thanks to that performance, without compromising anything around that. So same grip, same longevity. And we just launched the Pilot Sports, or EV, so for EV sports cars. And here again, we are about to we can deliver up to 37 miles additional without compromising any other performance. So just to tell you that we are really at the core of what's happening today, and it's a very, very exciting moment for Michelin from the tire business and everything that is happening around that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I think it's an exciting moment to be in the tire industry. I mean, you were just talking about tires made for electric vehicles. Michelin just debuted one not too long ago. So very, very exciting time is For sure. And I definitely want to ask you more about the other business areas that Michelin is looking into. I know you mentioned that. But I did want to kind of go back to the plan and continue on this, sustainability track. I know in the plan, Michelin says it wants to strike a balance between people, planet, and profit, which is what you said earlier. And this means reducing CO2 emissions, creating a more sustainable supply chain. And I know, the supply chain's just been disrupted by COVID. Can you share some ways in which the tire supply chain can become more sustainable in the next decade, in your opinion?
Yeah, sure, Maddie. Maybe to tell you a very short story, that's because we have this question from time to time to say why Michelin is focusing on sustainability. And I think I can answer you very, very, very simply now that last year, for example, in April, that's where everything struck me, because we were able at the same time to see two contradictory forces around us. The first one was that you could see from wherever you were sitting in the world, you see the nature flourishing, you see wildlife coming back into inner city. So you could see the nature taking back its I would say its natural presence. And at the same time, you saw the unemployment rates going through the roof. And that was a very simple way for me to realize that if we want to be sustainable, we have to find a way to combine the motion, the growth, with the protection of the environment. It's not or, it's with, together. And that's what we mean by these sustainability. We have to find a way to develop at the same time, with the same intensity, our people, with our customers, the profits, which is a proxy for growth, development, for motion, and the planet side. And we'll keep on working in that direction, because we believe this is the right thing to do for the world, for the humanity. And what does that mean for the supply chain is that we have taken strong commitments that we've announced early April. Mm-hmm. As I told you, bring to the market a fully renewable and recyclable tire by 2050. We want to be completely carbon neutral in our manufacturing footprint by 2050. And we are reinforcing and accelerating what we call the local to local part of our business, meaning that we want to produce as much as possible on the given geography, what is going to be sold in that geography. So to minimize maritime and long distance transport over ocean, because it has an impact on the environment too. So these are just three concrete examples around the tire, the manufacturing footprint that we want to have carbon neutral, and the local to local supply chain. So to be able again to combine growth with the protection of the environment.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I've heard a lot from tire manufacturers, more local production as a part of that sustainability aspect. So very, very interesting. It all comes together,
Absolutely.
From your perspective, I know so many tire manufacturers, including Michelin, have these ESG initiatives, which are, so important, and different goals, like you've mentioned some of them, to reach by a certain year. So I'm curious how you see, maybe in the future, short-term or long-term, how those goals will trickle down to, your distributors and dealers.
I think it's an opportunity for the distribution and our dealers, because again, if you have a look at what is happening around us in the US, in Canada, and all over the world, the question around the environment is just rising. They are rising. And if you pay attention, and I'm sure you do, to the statistics, you see that this concern is even stronger among the younger generation. Mm-hmm. So I think the more we get prepared and we evolve in our way of production, in our business models, including the one of our dealers, the more we'll be able to address the needs of our consumers of today and definitely for all of them tomorrow. So I think that's a way for us to be sustainable. We don't want to be sustainable for ourselves. We want to be sustainable for our ecosystems, for the customer we serve, for the people we employ, and also the partners we're working with. So I think it's an enormous opportunity, and the sooner we start, the better it will be, because the less disruptive it will be on our businesses.
I did want to go back to the other business areas that you mentioned earlier in our interview. I believe those were services and solutions, flexible composites, medical devices, metal 3D printing, and hydrogen mobility. I think I got them all. I'm curious to know and understand a little bit more about the services and solutions aspect. You know, when I think of that, I've heard some tire manufacturers say, oh, you know, tires as a service and having a subscription model. What do you feel that means for Michelin?
For Michelin, it means that we believe today that it's not enough to provide our customers with, again, what we believe are the best tires. When it comes to the professional end users, today their main concern is to maximize the efficiency of their operations. And this is where, again, the knowledge we have around tires, around the usages of those tires, are helping us a lot, because we have been digitalizing that. And then leveraging those data, we're able to turn them into insights so that they can be much better organized in their maintenance. Because instead of being reactive, which we still offer today, and again, we are the first provider of emergency call in the US, we are trying to help them to anticipate that through a much better organized predictive maintenance. So this is what is at the core of what we want to do in services and solution. And we can do that because of our capabilities, because of our tires also, but also because we have a huge distribution network with our partners. And all of that is helping us to, again, bring new offers, bring new solutions to our consumers, and provide more businesses to our partners too. So that's really very interesting. And that's a movement that is, I think, pretty natural, because we are moving from product to services. And beyond services, you have this notion of experience that is extremely important. And tire as a service might be one service, but it's not the only one. And when it comes to experience, the same logic applies for the B2C, so the final consumers. And that's why we are investing a lot in the Michelin Red Guide, because we want to be not only part of their journey or within their journey, but also at their destination. And we provide them with good recommendation or great recommendation, where to rest, where to have a fine diner. So that's what we mean by these around tire activities.
One of the other, I guess, components of these 5 business areas is 3D printing. I'm curious how relating that to automotive, or is that related to automotive, or is that just more in general?
That's a great question, Maddie, and that's again a great opportunity to tell you. It's a great testament to the passion we have in Michelin with our people. Actually, the 3D printing technology, we started that more than 10 years ago now. And the first time we designed that, it was for our internal use. And there is one very concrete application I can share with you is that on truck tires today, we have been using that technology to design a sculpture that the more it gets worn, the more the tread is open, so to maximize the grip. And you need to have a 3D printing technology to do that, because it's very complex to achieve. And we have been developing that for our own usage on the sculpture and on other part of our industry. And obviously, in the meantime, this technology has been rising, growing. And today we have built a joint venture, I think now 4 years ago, and we commercialize those machines across many, many industries. So we're still using that for our own production or innovation, but we are now selling that in the US, in Europe, in Asia, with a JV we've mounted with the Fivlil, which is a European-based company. So that's very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting, that's for sure. Very cool. We have a couple more questions for you. I did want to know, I saw in a Michelin report recently that another key growth for Michelin's tire business is the 19-inch and up segment. So with more SKUs most likely in demand as a result of growth, how does Michelin plan to maintain a simplified product portfolio for dealers while, obviously growing and catering to that segment?
That's a great question too, Maddie. I think our first intention is to start with our customers. So in that case, it's most of the time it starts with the car manufacturers that needs to have a specific tire for their for the vehicle, and we are obsessed by that to meet their expectations. And our job as a manufacturer is to take that potential complexity that is coming from their needs, because every car is being tuned, and the more they will get electrified or fueled by hydrogen, the higher the torque will be, the weight. So all of that will make the tire an even more important part tomorrow than it is today. But our job is to take that complexity and to make it simple in our house, in our walls. And that's why this question is not new for us. We have been working on what we call these Simplexity projects to make sure that we can really embrace what the customer is needing, but find a way to make it simple. And we try to have some kind of platforms to minimize the impact of the outside complexity within our production capacities. And that's a very, very interesting project. And we started that almost 10 years ago too. And it's a way for us to cope with this evolution of the markets.
Awesome. Very interesting. Well, Alexis, I know our time is almost up, but I did want to give you the chance to, sort of talk to our audience, which is tire dealers at Tire Review. And so my last question for you is, what would you like tire dealers to know about Michelin, going forward in the next 10 years? The Michelin in Motion plan goes through 2030. So in the next 10 years, what would you like tire dealers to know about Michelin and how the company can serve them? We
are at a very, very defining moment. I can tell you that the ambition we've unveiled now 1 month ago are really exciting. And actually, it's, as I said, it's nothing new for us. But it's a very bold acceleration. And we'll be the one that, or really our dream and our passion is to make sure that we bring a better life in motion, so that we can cope with the mobility, because motion is life, and at the same time cope with the environment and cope with our people, our customers, and the development of our people. So this strategy that we embrace around people, profit, and planet is an exciting one. It's a sustainable one, and it will provide a lot of opportunity for our partners. And we are very convinced that it will hit the expectations of our end users and professional customers. So we are at a very, very exciting moments, and we see a lot of opportunities in front of us, and we leverage all of our partners to deliver that to the market.
Great. Well, yes, it is exciting, like you said. And I just want to say thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate your time today, Alexis.
Thank you for your time, Maddie. It's been a pleasure.